Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Liam Xavier and you join us here at EBAday 2026 in Copenhagen. With me right now is Erwin Kulk, the Head of Service Development and Management for EBA Clearing. Lovely to have you here.
Lovely to be here.
So, lots going on, plenty has changed over the last couple of years. One of those things from last year was the introduction of Verification of Payee by the Instant Payments regulation. Has that done much for the change in numbers around fraud?
Well, first of all, it was a huge project for the whole industry. And with that, I think the industry has delivered. But it was also clear that with verification of payee, it would not be a silver bullet to fight all fraud. So if verification of payee was the sprint, we now have to move on to the marathon. And I think if you look at how fraud is evolving over time, well, first of all, we can see from our fraud recall statistics that verification of payee has not significantly reduced fraud in the ecosystem. Actually, it continues to increase. And if you really want to fight fraud, then you will need to build more sophisticated solutions that can look at the network view, that can digest additional information elements. I think that's where the industry will want to go and is already going. I think that is a really important part of the delivery of verification of payee. It helped to get all the PSPs in Europe to feed in network elements through APIs into their front ends, and that will be an important stepping stone.
And again, with fraud, PSPs are getting ready for the payment services regulation where they have to monitor transactions more and share some of that information to fight fraud. How much of a benefit, a lift, will that be on the industry?
Well, I think, first of all, it's not that the industry is not doing anything in fighting fraud today. The banks are doing a lot already. And I think if you look at the payment services regulation, it will be important for PSPs that they shall do transaction monitoring, and they shall have transaction monitoring mechanisms in place, and many have those already. And they shall use information sharing arrangements. And with that, we can see that there's already a lot of important elements, building blocks that can be leveraged to fulfill those obligations. On our side, we have our fraud pattern anomaly detection, FPAD, that we introduced end of 23, beginning of 24. On the Euro Banking Association, there's the EBA fraud taxonomy, and that helps to get structured information around data, around fraud, to share data that can help to fight fraud. So I think if you look at the existing building blocks that the industry has, I think the whole development of the payment ecosystem these days is a heavy lift at large. But if we use existing building blocks, we can get there.
And if you can share a little bit of insight into the practicalities and the technicality of what transaction monitoring actually is and how it works.
Well, in essence, it's using views of the network, looking at patterns of transactions, of frauds, that can feed into the transaction monitoring mechanisms of the PSPs. But if you would like to know more about that, we developed a white paper on that we recently put on our website, and feel free to access that, and it will give you more insight in what we're doing there.
Very interesting. Well, thanks for joining the studio. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.